Fans requested that Duo work on his self-conviction, and he thought about the task incredibly literally as he took his junk talk game to the extremely next level during his question and answer session with Anthony Joshua. It's the battle's 7-day stretch of their exceptionally expected battle, and Daniel Dubois isn't simply genuinely and intellectually prepared. He's likewise verbally prepared, as he's been discharging verbal weapons at his kindred Brit in front of their battle while he talked. He didn't allow Anthony Joshua any opportunity whatsoever as he continued to come for the previous title holder. Yet again, eventually, he guaranteed Anthony Joshua a memorial service as he's set to send him to the grave. Comparable words were utilized by Gerald Mill, operator, during a question and answer session with Anthony Joshua. Very much, we should check whether Dubois can carry his words too. Past yet one thing clear so that all might see is the way certain and further developed Daniel Dubois looks. And we can't resist the urge to inquire as to whether Anthony Joshua is genuinely prepared for this test as Daniel Pear prepares himself during the current end of the week's Worldwide Boxing League heavyweight title battle with Anthony Joshua. He tells Sky Sports that he's restored his vocation since his 2 misfortunes and the analysis he's gotten alongside them a smidgen, figuring out, you realize I would have wanted to win it on the night on my last battle, however you realize here we are, I'm thankful, I'm honored, and you realize we continue onward for Dubois. That was difficulty he needed to move beyond, yet he concedes that it's not over as he needs to go into the ring this Saturday and show what him can do in a gathering with Joshua. He thought back about the period he was down and strikingly guaranteed he was back up, and the situation is way more profound than his battle with Anthony Joshua. It's in excess of a battle, as per Daniel Dubois. It's about who has the more grounded will, who's vanquished their evil spirits best, and who has the drive to push ahead to a higher level of their profession. As a matter of fact, the 26-year-old won the Break Worldwide Boxing League belt by halting Filip Hrgović in June prior to being moved up to true top dog when Alexander Usyk cleared the customary title. Presently, Explosive shields the gold against previous competing accomplice Joshua, 34 of every, quite possibly of his hardest test yet. Dubois will enter Wembley on the rear of 2 significant successes, preceding his 8th-round stoppage of Hrgović. He scored a TKO of Gerald Mill, operator, in the last seconds of their fierce fight in December. With those wins, Dubois quickly returned from a stoppage misfortune to Usyk in 2022 on that evening in Poland. Dubois thought he had beaten the Ukrainian with a body shot exclusively for the punch to be controlled, a cheap shot. Later in the battle, Usyk halted Dubois with a poke. Right, next man up. Congrats to Daniel for winning his last battle. I went out there to watch it live, and we're here now. And before I carry on, we need to give a yell out. The way of that misfortune prompted analysis of Dubois, who likewise experienced harsh criticism in 2020 in his main other expert misfortune on that event against Joyce. Dubois was additionally come by a hit taking a knee and neglecting to beat the ref's count. It was subsequently uncovered that the youthful England had supported a broken eye attachment. Dubois showed further weakness in 2022 when he hit the material multiple times in the principal round against Kevin Lerena prior to winning by means of TKO in cycle 3. Dubois did anyway give off an impression of being engaging a physical issue in that battle. Heading into the battle against Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois has minimized the meaning of past competing meetings, expressing that they happened quite a long while back and were not pertinent to the impending battle. I would rather not discuss no fighting or absolutely no part of that it happened long time back, and to be straightforward, I can't recall that an alternate Daniel D is that, right, without a doubt. I'm a renewed person, restored my vocation, you realize, emerging from haziness, and I'm coming into the light. He underscored that his emphasis is on the forthcoming match, not past preparation. Encounters the profoundly expected conflicts among Joshua and Dubois will be communicated real-time on Sky Sports Film Industry, and days in, Joshua will be the #1 after breathtaking exhibitions against Tyson fiercenesses, previous rivals Otto Wallin and Francis. The 2 men took wrath to a hard battle choice while Joshua took out the 2 men effortlessly. Dubois realizes he faces a difficult errand to hold his belt close by just his 4th profession route. Anticipating the test and introducing another period of English heavyweight boxing, he said, that is exactly where I'm holding back nothing. Awesome and be the best. Ajay's been the Lord for quite a while, and on the night I want to turn into a ruler slayer, and that is my objective. That is the current mission. I'm more deeply studying myself as a contender, as an individual emerging from the dimness and into the light, working on generally around as a warrior and as a competitor. I'm up for this and I'll set you realize you. No, go out there and satisfy what I realize I can do. Draw out what's in me and win, no holds barred. Anthony Joshua, 34, realizes Dubois, well, having recently fought with him, and is declining to misjudge his possibilities, winning. Joshua, a previous holder of the IBF title, thought back about his instructional courses with Dubois when the last option was essential for the incomparable England crew. In a meeting with Skyports, he reviewed the fighting as extraordinary, yet explained that the gossipy tidbits about being stunned by Dubois were misleading, underlining that in spite of the fact that Dubois handled a strong punch, he stayed on his feet. Was it actually that was all there was to it? I mean, I knew Daniel from the GB crew. I just turned proficient. However, I remained around the GB crew. I'd in any case prepare there so we would fight great competes. And this entire discussion that you're attempting to get at, he just broke me with a decent shot. Yet I remained on my feet. I don't have any idea where this entire story that he switched my lights out came from. That point were many individuals that were in the rec center that day of the week, and they've emerged and said nothing happened. Joshua is resolved not to be mistreated in their forthcoming battle. He communicated trust in his capacities, expressing that he wouldn't permit anybody to take him out or overwhelm him in the ring, whether in fighting or an authority battle. Allow it to work out, and I'll show you how great I am, whether it's in the ring competing or in the ring battling. I won't allow anybody to mistreat me or attempt and take me out. No chance. That very year that the scandalous Joshua Dubois fight occurred, Jay won the Worldwide Boxing League heavyweight title from Charles Martin. Now, 8 years on, he has the chance to recover the Global Boxing League tie against Dubois that day, too. And individuals have emerged and said that, and only at any rate, look, individuals get out. Whatever they say with me, there's forever been similar to an inch that should Joshua 283 beat his kindred Londoner, he will recover the belt he previously won against Charles Martin over quite a while back. Yet this is a considerably more full-grown and considered Joshua than the ultra-certain destroying machine who disregarded Martin inside 2 rounds. In the wake of ruling an extensive rundown of challengers, Joshua got some margin to track down his direction after a dazzling loss to Andy Ruiz back in 2019. He beat the Mexican-American in a revisitation of recover his brought-together heavyweight titles. However, at that point lost them again to Alexander Usyk. A second loss to Usyk set off a flood of feeling from an obviously troubled Joshua who pondered out loud why a warrior with his actual characteristics couldn't beat the exceptional Ukrainian. Joshua was discounted by quite a few people after that evening in Saudi Arabia, yet has gradually transformed the cynics back into devotees in the wake of boxing his direction to a strong yet safe choice over Jermaine Franklin. A startling completion of Robert Helenius infused a daily existence into Joshua's mission to recapture his heavyweight crown. His quiet made analyzation out of a reluctant Otuwalan last December was the ideal subsequent stage, and after 90 days boxing beginner Francis Ngannou gave him 2 rounds of target practice. Perhaps a savvier Joshua has figured out how to see the value in his past triumphs. Or perhaps Usyk's splendid triumph over Tyson Rage to guarantee the undisputed title reassured he blueprint follow out my strategies to feature my abilities, my durability, my boxing level of intelligence, my solidarity to anything. The explanation. The 34-year-old appears to have found a sense of peace with the way that, despite the fact that he is very great for by far most of heavyweights, genuinely tip-top administrators like Usyk and Rath will constantly present difficult issues on Sep 21. We will figure out which level Dubois, his next rival, squeezes into, yet Joshua will expected, enter the ring intellectually ready and consents to that. Nowadays he is an alternate contender, you can say so, continuously growing, continuously learning, he told Queensbury. I truly do glance back at my old battles too. By the day's end, they were various kinds of rivals. I might have been beating a ton of lesser testing rivals for the vast majority numerous years. I might have been coming into my reality title years currently, yet I've done it early. So the thing I'm attempting to say is that while I'm battling folks, it's difficult to look extraordinary against somebody that is essentially on a similar level as you. Big showdown battles, they're 50-50, yet I get it. Individuals, they expect a ton, they need to see strength. Carl FRCH is parted on this end of the week's heavyweight title conflict at Wembley Arena that sees Daniel Dubois protect his Global Boxing League bet against Anthony Joshua. The enthusiastically expected fight live on DAZN will see Joshua seek become champion for a 3rd time frame. As he goes in with his comrades, the two contenders enter the session in great structure, following various high-profile wins. En route to this point, Dubois upset the chances to stop Filip Hrgović in June, while Joshua's last challenge saw him stop Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. Pro, who has fundamental evented Wembley Arena while taking on George Forrest in 2014, has expressed his opinion on one of the year's greatest battles on the off chance that I plan to have a stout wagered on it. I'd wager on AJ to win since that is the sure thing, yet in the event that I was getting great chances, I'd express Dubois by Co, said Frost while addressing coin poker. He has that digit between his teeth. He's on the peak of this wave. He's had 2 great successes. Trust he doesn't make himself frantic and put an excessive squeeze on himself.